We're so done with new year, new you. This year, it's more you on Bumble. More of you shamelessly sending playlists, especially that one filled with show tunes. More of you finding Geminis because you know you always like them. More of you dating with intention because you know what you want. And you know what? We love that for you. Someone else will too. Be more you this year and find them on Bumble.
Your data is like gold to hackers, and they'll sell it to the highest bidder. Are you protected? McAfee helps shield you, blocking suspicious texts, malicious emails, and fraudulent websites. McAfee Secure VPN lets you browse safely, and its AI-powered text scam detector spots threats instantly. You'll also get up to $2 million of award-winning antivirus and identity theft protection, all for just $39.99 for your first year. Visit McAfee.com. Cancel anytime. Terms apply.
This is Optimal Health Daily. Why being good enough isn't good enough anymore. And Push Up Domination, both by Roger Lawson of rajlawfitness.com. And I'm Dr. Neil, your host and narrator. Hey there, welcome to another Wednesday edition of Optimal Health Daily. This is just one of a bunch of podcasts where we read to you from blogs for free so that you don't have to read them yourself. Now on Fridays, that's where I usually answer your questions. But every Wednesday, like today, I like to give you a little bit of inspiration. So with that, here we go. Quote, if you're having a bad day, change your mind and have a good day. Dr. Nate Zinsser. Now today, I have 2 posts for you. I do that whenever one of the posts is a little bit on the shorter side. You know, I want to make sure that you're getting enough of the content that you expect every day. So, now that we're in the right frame of mind, let's get right to today's 2 posts and start optimizing your life. Why being good enough isn't good enough anymore by Roger Lawson of rajlawfitness.com. For some weird reason, I look forward to the familiar person dressed up in Statue of Liberty garb trying to entice me to get my taxes done. Even though it never works, it soothes my soul to know that with all that's changing in the world today, I can still expect to see the familiar sight of someone dressed up in a toga waving at me like I'm riding a dragon down the street. I drive up and down this stretch of road every single day, and up until now, I hadn't noticed one critical detail about my torch-wielding friend. She wasn't human. At some point down the line, whatever business that person worked for decided that they were so unnecessary to the company that they could be uprooted, eliminated, and replaced by a machine. And I didn't even notice that they went missing at all. And that right there is the risk you run when you're just good enough. Being good enough doesn't get you noticed. Being good enough doesn't move you forward in life. Being good enough is the quickest way to ensure your downfall. As time passes, you become expendable. Today's good enough is tomorrow's obsolete, and the only way to ensure that you aren't gobbled up by the machine is to run. Run as fast as you can from good enough and towards redonkulously awesome. The closer you get towards this end of the spectrum, the less likely you are to be so easily replaced. Nobody can replace Batman because he's the best at what he does. But what about Daffodilia, who holds the power to, you guessed it, grow daffodils on command, but spends her time working at a coffee shop that she hates? Not so much. There are a ton of people who could do that. The problems that we're each facing in our lives can't be solved by good enough. Actually, being good enough will only buy you just a little more time to sweat before the axe inevitably drops. So instead of waiting, decide to become awesome. Push against being average and challenge yourself to become better than you ever thought you could be, and you will be rewarded for it. Quote, to be a warrior is not a simple matter of wishing to be one. It is rather an endless struggle that will go on to the very last moment of our lives. Nobody is born a warrior in exactly the same way that nobody is born an average man. We make ourselves into one or the other. Carlos Castañeda. Are you going to settle for just being good enough? Push Up Domination by Roger Lawson of rajlawfitness.com. When it comes to the upper body, the push-up is the last kid picked up for a game of dodgeball of the exercise world, far behind the reigning king since the beginning of time, the bench press. I don't want to turn this into a "the bench press sucks" post, because it doesn't, if done correctly, which many people don't, but more of a celebration of the awesomeness that is the push-up. 1. It's shoulder friendly. Shoulder pain is a frequent complaint of those who often sacrifice themselves on the bench press altar. Now, this could be due to a breakdown in form, lifting with their ego instead of their head, or a host of other reasons. But suffice to say, there is a lot going on in the bench press, and thus there are more things that can possibly go wrong during the lift. With the push-up, the opposite is true for most. With the reduced load, there is a lot less stress on the shoulder joint than during the bench press. Also, because you're able to move your shoulder blades freely through space instead of having them pinned down against the bench, you get a lot better stabilization of the shoulder, which translates to a much safer exercise. 2. It's a full body exercise. If you're looking for a full body exercise, then look no further than the push-up. Have you ever noticed that as someone starts to fatigue, or if their strength levels aren't up to par, their push-up starts to resemble more of a candy cane shape? They push their upper body up, but their lower back and legs hardly move at all. That's because the push-up, on top of being a fantastic strength exercise, is actually one of the best core exercises out there because it gives you immediate feedback. If your core is weak, you won't be able to keep your spine stable while you're pushing through the ground, and your form will suffer because of it. And 3, anywhere, anytime. Pushing yourself up from the ground is one of the simplest movements that there is, and there are so many different variations to choose from that there's no reason, aside from having lost both of your arms in an epic ninja battle, to not do them. You don't need any fancy equipment to have a great workout, and there are enough challenging variations out there to keep you busy for a very long time. Simply squeeze your butt cheeks and keep your entire body tight. Don't let your elbows flare out at 90 degrees. Turn your hands out and keep your elbows tucked in fairly close so that your upper body resembles a W. And only go down as far as you can without letting your hips and lower back sag. You just listened to the posts titled, "Why Being Good Enough Isn't Good Enough Anymore," and "Push-Up Domination," both by Roger Lawson of rajlawfitness.com. And I'll be right back with my commentary.
Eczema isn't always obvious, but it's real. And so is the relief from Ebglyss. After an initial dosing phase of 16 weeks, about 4 in 10 people taking Ebglyss achieved itch relief and clear or almost clear skin. And most of those people maintain skin that's still more clear at 1 year with monthly dosing.
Ebglyss, lebrikizumab LBKZ, a 250 milligram per 2 milliliter injection, is a prescription medicine used to treat adults and children 12 years of age and older who weigh at least 88 pounds or 40 kilograms with moderate to severe eczema, also called atopic dermatitis, that is not well controlled with prescription therapies used on the skin or topicals, or who cannot use topical therapies. Ebglyss can be used with or without topical corticosteroids. Don't use if you're allergic to Ebglyss. Allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Eye problems can occur. Tell your doctor if you have new or worsening eye problems. You should not receive a live vaccine when treated with Ebglyss. Before starting Ebglyss, tell your doctor if you have a parasitic infection.
Searching for real relief? Ask your doctor about Ebglyss and visit ebglyss.lilly.com or call 1-800-LILY-RX or 1-800-545-5979.
I can say to my new Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, hey, find a keto-friendly restaurant nearby and text it to Beth and Steve. And it does without me lifting a finger, so I can get in more squats anywhere I can. 1, 2, 3.
Will that be cash or credit?
Credit. 4.
Galaxy S25 Ultra, the AI companion that does the heavy lifting so you can do you. Get yours at Samsung.com. Compatible with select apps. Requires Google Gemini account. Results may vary based on input. Check responses for accuracy.
Dr. Neil here for my commentary. I want to talk more about Roger's second post about push-up domination. What happens if you can't perform a single push-up yet? Or if it's not practical for you to perform one? Should you just keep at it and hope that one day it will happen? I mean, you could, but there are other options. A way to build some of the same muscle groups that are needed to perform a push-up would be to add some modifications. For example, you could perform a wall push-up. To perform a wall push-up, face a flat wall and stand about an arm's length away and with your feet directly below your hips. Place the palms of both your hands against the wall with your fingers facing the ceiling. While in this position, if it feels like you're standing too far away from the wall, move closer, but keep your feet about hip width apart. Then, while keeping your back straight and your feet planted, slowly bend your elbows as you lean with your nose toward the wall. Just before your nose touches the wall, slowly straighten your elbows, pushing away from the wall. Again, your feet should be in the same place. That's one push-up. Then once you've done this for some time and you feel like you've built up the strength and can perform wall push-ups safely, you can try performing push-ups on the ground, but supporting your body weight with your knees. The key is to take your time and have patience. The muscles will start to respond and grow, and you'll be able to perform a full push-up in no time. I promise. All right, that'll do it for today. Thank you so much for coming back and listening every day. And an extra thank you if you've ever shared this show with someone. That really goes a long way to keep this show going. All right, I hope you have a great rest of your day. And of course, I'll see you back here tomorrow as usual, where your optimal life awaits.